What's good, everybody? For those of you guys who are new to my channel, my name is Sidney Baker Green. I'm an international photographer and cinematographer, and today I am giving you guys 5 tips for killer car photography. Let's go. So tip number 1 is going to be to make sure the car is clean. You're going to want the interior of that car and the exterior of that car to be as clean as possible. Our cameras will pick up any dust that is on the dashboard, on the steering wheel console, or even in the center console. And especially if you have a black car or a white car, it will definitely pick up any of the dirt from the environment, from the rain or salt from the snow. So you're going to want to make sure that unless you're going for like one of those snowy photos, that your car is as clean as possible. The key when you wash your car is to make sure that none of those water droplets sit on the car and create water spots. So it doesn't have to be the most expensive car wash, but make sure that the car is dry, even take a rag to it if you need to. Tip number 2 is going to be to find a killer location and even some juxtaposition. The last thing you're going to want to do in any of your car photos is simply pull off on the side of the road and start snapping photos of the car, unless that is what you're going for, or unless you have a super dope landmark in the back or some mountains in the back. You're going to want to make sure that you find some nice juxtaposition for your photos. One of the things I like to do is really kind of put cars in places they don't belong. For example, when I shot my Camaro in these scenes, all I did was pull off on the side of a little service road that was in the forest, and I just started taking photos of the car, made sure that no houses were in sight, made sure no roads were in sight, and it really just added an element to the photos that you wouldn't be able to get if you just pulled off on the side of the road somewhere in town or even in the middle of nowhere. And if you're going to use houses, make sure that those houses are more modern. Notice that in any of the car commercials you see, you always see that modern architecture there. So make sure that you are finding really awesome locations to complement your car. Tip number 3 is going to be to get low and work your angles. A lot of the times, if you are used to photographing people, you try to just get to that head level / in between the chest level, and that is not going to work for cars. You do not want to shoot cars at eye level. You want to get low, but lower than you think. One of the most common and amateur mistakes I see in car photography is not getting low enough. You are going to want to get your camera as close to the ground as possible. And when you use that technique as well as adding in angles, you're really going to show off that design engineering that the creators of the car intended to be there. And that will make all the difference between amateur car photography and those more pro stunning photos. Tip number 4, and this is one of my favorite tips to add in some creativity to car photos, and that is to shoot through something. Whether it's shooting through the grass on the ground or shooting through some taller grass or bushes, or even shooting through the door frame to get a nice interior shot of the car, or shooting through the window of the car to get that interior shot. These are all creative ways to add diversity, and the more diversity that you have in your portfolio, the more photos your client is going to be able to use in the end game. So when you're shooting through something, whether it be bushes, a door frame, sunroof, or even the window of the car, you're going to add a nice creative element to set your photos apart. Tip number 5 is going to be to make sure that you're grabbing all the details of the car. It doesn't matter if it's an emblem on the wheels, if it's an emblem on the side of the car, if it's the gear shift, if it's the interior of the car, leather, fabric, the radio console. Make sure you are grabbing all of those details, because those are elements that are put there on the car for a reason by the manufacturer. And so when you grab those details, as well as those creative shots where you're shooting through something, as well as those shots with the angles, and even your standard shots of the car, you are going to have not only a diverse car portfolio, but a complete car portfolio as well, that is going to allow you to give your clients the most photos to use in the end and really show off their product as well. I hope these 5 tips help you when it comes to car photography. If you guys like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications if you have not. Be sure to follow me on my social media. The links are in the description down below, as well as the YouTube fam. Their links are also in the description down below. If you guys are ever feeling uninspired, uncreative, or just want to give up on life, remember, every day airplanes take off against the wind. Live, love, laugh, stay inspired, and as always, stay fabulous. Sidney, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.